Hello, my name is Arthur McWhorter. I've heard people say that this nation needs to have a conversation about race. The conversation is what we need. So let's get to it. What is racism? Why is racism? Who started this whole mess? Well, Satan did. In the beginning, I think in the Bible there was two brothers and one was jealous of the other. That was one of Adam's boys. So he got jealous and he killed his brother because he didn't like him. He hated him. Jealousy. He thought God loved his brother more, so he killed him. That's how Satan is trying to divide us still. He's putting one race, one person against another one. For what? Skin tone? That's silly. Racism starts by somebody who is weak, who's been battered for some reason in their life, and not related to another race. This is my belief. And that they just want to take it out on somebody who they think is weaker than them. They want to feel better, to put themselves on top. It's silly and childish. What needs to change is just that person's heart, that person's life, that person's circumstance. It is not right, it is unjust to hate someone. Do you know what it feels like? Do you remember when you feel bad? So how do you feel about when someone would hate you? Especially for no apparent reason. And this goes on, passed on from one person to another. Sometimes it's taught from one generation to another. It makes no sense. It's sad. It's disruptive. It's painful. It is ungodly. God made us to love one another. I mean, where do we have the time to hate somebody if we are living our lives to the fullest? And we have problems, we work through those problems. We cannot take out hate on someone else. Every man is made the same for the same purpose. Every woman is made the same for the same purpose. As I've said before, man and woman are created by God to love and to be loved, to share that love with others and reflect that love back to God, because God wanted someone to love. He wanted you to love. And if he can love you, he loves everyone, all his children, everyone he created are loved the same way by God. He gives them everything that they need in their heart and soul. And life is a hardship, but he still loves and he expects you to love. And to love others by helping them through their hardship. There is no other greatness than God. And you are not greater than others. I am not greater than you. It cannot be. I can only be greater than I used to be. I look inside myself and find out, and it's pointed out by God and the church, that this is not right, Arthur. Improve yourself. Fix the problem. Don't take it out on others. It's not a competition. It's life. When things go wrong, it's not another person's fault. It's not another race's fault. It's not their skin tone. It's not the quality or the color of their hair or whether they have hair or not. It's just a circumstance. Work the problem. Don't try to hate it away. You can never hate away a problem because hate is the problem. You must look inside yourself. Those who claim to hate other people, who think they're better, no, you must look inside yourself and find out where that pain is coming from. Because that hate starts from pain. And recover. Fix it. Accept it. Accept yourself. Accept that you have an intelligence that can fix your circumstance, that can solve your problems, instead of deflecting it on others. Every good father loves all his children. Every good mother loves all her children. God is your Father in heaven. He made you to love. He loves all his children. Everyone. They're all the same in his heart. There is no differentiation between one and another. Because in essence, if you had a group of African American people and a group of white people separate in different rooms, and someone in each room had to find out who among the others in that room was good enough to babysit their kids. So if their skin isn't telling, where are they going to find the answer? They're going to look on the inside. They're going to get to know that person. They're going to get to know if you are worthy to take care of their son or daughter. If someone is going to work for you and you want to know who should you hire in a room full of people who all look the same, how are you going to tell who's better than others? You're going to look on the inside to see who you can trust working for you, to see who has the motivation to do the right thing, to see who has a hunger to make things right, to build something great, to invent something wonderful and long lasting. So it's not what is on the outside, it's on the inside. So your hate of a color of skin has no way to hold water. It is illogical. If you were to go into heaven and sit down and look at all the people there, who would you choose not to be in heaven? Who doesn't belong there? The answer is simple, but it's you. If you're sitting in heaven trying to figure out who does not belong there, you are the one who does not belong there. You must change what's inside of you. It doesn't matter what race you're from. You must accept that you are all human beings, that we are all the children of God, that all these little nitpicking things are because of something that has gone wrong in your life, that you've been hurt, and it's not connected to someone's skin pigmentation. That love is love, disappointment is disappointment, problems are problems. And we can solve these problems. You can solve it. You can. And if you need help, there are other human beings to help you. There are other human beings to help you. If we think that we want a society where there are no white people, or there are no black people, or there are no Asian people, or what have you, based on their race or creed, then you are going to be very disappointed. Because after this life, we will kneel down on our knees and stand before God, which sounds silly, but we'll kneel down on our knees and be judged by God, by the things we do. On earth, we have the power and the responsibility to judge the actions of a person. We cannot judge their souls. It is God who judges souls. You cannot judge a person by the color of their skin. You can only judge them by the deeds they do, by the good works they do, or the injustice and the wrong, illegal things that they do, by the hurtful things they do. So if I die and I don't want another race, where am I going to go? Where? For surely that you must understand and accept that it is the Word of God that I tell you this, that in heaven there are men and women from every race, creed, color, and every religion in heaven. So if you don't want to see a white person, it's too bad because there are white people in heaven. If you don't want to see a black person, it's too bad because there are black people in heaven. This is a fact. This is a fact. And on the other side of the coin, if you don't want to be around God and goodness and love and peace and tranquility for eternity, the only alternative is to go to hell. And surely I tell you, there are some white people in hell, there are some black people in hell, and there are people in hell from every race, creed, and color, religion, because they refused God and what He wants for us. He wants us to be united, to help each other, to care for each other. And that's it. And people in hell refuse it. People in heaven run to it. They may have done that in the past, but they changed their life. They realize. And there are people in heaven who used to be racist, but they come to the realization that there's no logic to it. It's insanely painful. Well, who would want another person to have a miserable life? There's pain and suffering. There's sadness. And a lot of people just keep piling it on and piling it on. They will not stop. But God remembers all of you who hurt others. All of you. And God remembers all of those who have been hurt. And all of those of you who have been hurt, you shall have your day in heaven with God. And that day shall be eternity. And right now you have your brothers and sisters to help you fight for injustice. You have your brothers and sisters from every race, creed, and color trying to help you change the way we live in America and the world. Trying to change the way that people are loved and respected. We are trying to make things right, to make sure there's justice, to make sure there's peace and security in your life. So we know you're in pain, and we understand it, and we want to work together to fight misery, pain, hatred, racism. Don't think you're alone. You're not. It's time. It's time we moved on. You're all made wonderful. Even the racists. You have to remember who you are. You have to change that part of your life. You do. You have to change that part of your life. You were created great. You veered in the wrong direction. Go back and get rid of it. You are a human being just like us. We all have problems. We all have misunderstandings. We have misinformation. We are bombarded by the people around us sometimes who are saying the wrong things. We have to cut through all that nonsense. And remember that life is worth living. And if you're going to live in justice, a way of justice and peace. You have to get that monkey off your back. You have to get that hate off your back, off your heart. It weighs you down. You cannot smell the sweetness of life. You cannot taste the goodness of life when you have that on your back. Let it go. You are made for love and not destruction.